Welcome to episode 4 of the Brent Carlin podcast. I had to actually look at our past podcast and change my shirt because I was wearing the same shirt in one of the podcasts, and how embarrassing would have that been?
Yeah, and all 50 people that listen to it, I'm sure don't even watch like the YouTube version of it, so they don't
No,
even fucking care or know. But I will
no.
say,
This
I put cologne on. Like I came out of the shower and I put cologne on, and I was like, "Who is this for?" It's a fucking
yeah.
podcast.
This is what
But
it's
like they
like
became
working on.
professional.
Yeah, this is what TV is like, I guess. This is what it's like. Who knew it? And also, we should note that we were releasing this on Monday. Brent is going to be on the morning show on Indy 88 all week. So you gotta be listening to the morning show, and these are some big shoes to fill if you ask me.
Fuck out of here, as if I haven't done it before.
Real big shoes. So make sure to tune into 6 to 9 a.m. every morning this week.
Yeah, it should be a trip. It's just me and Josie, and she's working from home. So it's gonna be, I feel like the first one's gonna be a shit show in a good way. Like I love working with Josie. She's such a pro that she makes things so easy for whoever comes into that room, which is great. Um,
Josie? Are we talking about the same person?
she's just like she's an easy conversationalist.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. She talks a
Like
lot.
you
Or
can get
she like, yeah.
you can feed off of her energy. I don't mean that she's like a fucking whiz and is like pro
I
in the
would,
matter of
yeah.
like she's scattered for sure. Like, but I like look at me.
Yeah, I was just joking, by the way. If there's no chance Josie listens to this anyway, but yeah, I'm taking the week off because we have a policy where we have to take last year's vacation by the end of February, and I was really hoping that the lockdown would ease up because I had a week of vacation to take. So I obviously didn't take it last year because you couldn't do anything, and I was hoping by the end of February this year that the lockdown would be over. And look at where we are now, still in lockdown. They just announced 2 more weeks.
Did you not take any vacation in the summer last year?
No, I took vacation in the summer, but I had a week still. Like I get
Yeah,
however
yeah,
many weeks vacation a year, and I still had a week, and I was hoping to use it at some point. We weren't in lockdown, but what do you do?
yeah. Doug Ford saw a shadow, and there's what 2, 3 more weeks of lockdown now. Just announced like an hour ago.
I know. Well, I spent like an hour and a half. I wanted to plan a trip to Blue Mountain because Blue Mountain's open back up, and I haven't done anything in forever. So I thought it would be fun. And it's Danny's birthday for Danny's birthday, and I was pretty much hovering over the book now. And the cancellation policies on Airbnbs are really weird now too. But then I saw that news story, and I was like, well, now I don't think it would be a good idea in case I lose hundreds of dollars.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so it's really strange, right? Like you're allowed, the people there are allowed to do all of those things. Like me and my friends were actually talking about booking an Airbnb in Blue Mountain too, because snowboarding and skiing
Yeah.
is one of the only things that you can actually do outside in Canadian winter. Doy. Um, and then the same thing happened. We saw the lockdown rules and we're like, I guess we shouldn't. And
You technically can go still. Like I
that's the thing. You're
technically
allowed
could.
to go, but like
It's
there,
just
I feel
gonna
like
be a bad look probably.
there's people like us where, yeah, if we were to post, hey, we're staying over in Blue Mountain, not just going up for the day to go boarding,
Yeah.
we're gonna get fucking annihilated on social media. And I
I
also
I
don't
tr-
want to have to do anything like, not that like the reason I go somewhere is to post on social media, but I don't want to have to hide that I'm doing something because then I won't feel
yeah.
good about it.
I honestly get annoyed when I see people posting things from doing whatever. Like if you're sitting in a hotel room, it's like, why are you doing that? I'm not doing that. So it's annoying that you're doing that, even if you're allowed to be doing it.
Yeah, there was somebody on my Instagram last week that was like, we booked a hotel just to sit in it. And I was like, the fuck is the point?
Yeah, why are you
I was
doing that?
livid looking at my phone. Like, if you ask my
You're so,
girlfriend, I was like screaming at my phone.
you're supposed to be in your house right now. And that's basically the rule of the lockdown. Like you can be doing that stuff, but or technically you can be doing that stuff, but you shouldn't be doing that stuff.
Yeah, yeah. I will say my birthday is the first week of April. I have I've already booked an Airbnb.
Where?
Prince Edward County.
Ooh, that'll be nice.
Yeah, we've
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking I was gonna do the March 13th weekend, but it was just cutting it too close. So I'm like, well, I'll just push it back a month. And it's gonna be crappy because it's gonna be spring and there won't be anything to do. But whatever.
I mean, you honestly never know with Canadian winter. My birthday is April 3rd, and for years it was a snow day. Like
Really?
for years. I think it was like 3 years in a row at school. You're like, it's my fucking birthday. That means I'm popular finally for one day only at school. And fucking snow day. Little Albrecht never got his daps.
My birthday was always December 22nd, so most of the time I didn't even have school. We were already out for Christmas break at that point.
Yeah. I
But I
think
always wanted to go like go-karting on my birthday. I was always jealous of people that got to do that.
well, yeah, your birthday, like the season just doesn't allow for it.
No, no. It's no good, but at the same time, when there's the West Edmonton Mall Water Park where I come from and it's indoors,
Hell
there
yeah.
was no one there on December 22nd. And same with there's a Galaxyland amusement park. I remember where I went there once. There's no one there on December 22nd, which is nice.
I wonder if that's like the Alberta equivalent of this place called Wally B World that everybody in Newmarket used to have their birthdays at. It was like a fucking ball pit, tube tower, McDonald's play place that was like 3 stories high, probably not that high. But like I remember looking at it and being like, holy shit, I got lost in it for so long that I missed the pizza dinner at someone's birthday party. I was so mad.
I
And also,
went to a kid I went to a kid's birthday party last year or not last year, 2 years ago now, in London at the Flying Squirrel Trampoline Park. It is the most fun I've had as an adult. Like on it, it was the most fun I've had as an adult. I want to do that for my birthday actually one year.
I don't have a ton of fantastic memories with my ex-girlfriend, but she took me to a trampoline park because I've always wanted to jump into a foam pit. And I've like it's like bucket list shit. I've always wanted to jump into a foam pit.
Yeah.
And she took me there for my birthday. I had a couple glasses of champagne. I'm the only person over 12, but I don't care. Like I'm kind of tipsy, mimosa drunk, just front flipping, back flipping. Like I don't, I'm not gonna get hurt trying this shit. And I just went wild, and it was sick. It was actually so fun.
When I went in that foam pit there, it reminded me of feeling sweaty. You know when you finish playing hockey or something and you just feel gross because you're all sweaty? I felt like when I hit those pieces of foam, that's how those pieces of foam felt. Like it just felt gross in there.
Can
Did you
you
not find
imagine
that?
knowing what we know now about germs and COVID and bacteria, jumping into a fucking foam pit like that?
Yeah, they're disgusting, but they're so fun too.
One thing that I wanted to say, like about the conversation of like, can you go to those places that the lockdown restrictions are more eased up in? I feel like it's the equivalent of when you used to travel to Quebec so you could drink illegally because their drinking laws were a year under. Like you could,
Okay.
because it's 19 everywhere else in Canada, but in Quebec it's 18.
In Alberta, it's 18 too, so I never had that.
Oh shit. So
So
yeah,
when I turned 18, I was able to drink and go to the bars and do whatever.
yeah. So Ontario obviously not the same. And we used to go like it would be like we're 18, we're going to Quebec, we're showing our fucking ID, and it's like we're like technically we're allowed, but and like that's how I feel about the COVID restrictions. It's like you can't do any of this shit here, but if I want, I can go eat with a mask on in a restaurant in
Yeah.
Collingwood. Like it's so weird.
Yeah. I was looking up even if you could if you were allowed to, because for some reason I felt like I read a couple news stories where people were getting ID'd and they were turning away people who were from Toronto. And I didn't want to go all the way to Collingwood and have that happen to me, but I don't think like that's not even happening anywhere.
Not really. I mean, there's some towns that are saying like, if you're from Toronto, please don't come here.
Yeah.
But I haven't heard of any businesses being like ID to prove that you're from like Whitby.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I don't mind that they're locking down for another 2 weeks because they got to get this one right. Because they're talking about the third wave. There's not going to be a third lockdown for a lot of people. Like this is going to be it because everyone's so sick of it. And if you take people out of it and then we ask people to go into lockdown again, especially in like April or something when summer's coming, It ain't happening, I don't
Yeah,
think.
this is
For
like
most people. Like
you're
I'll follow along with it because I'm still nice, but I think most people are gonna be like, go vaccinate the old people and I'm gonna roll the dice here.
I guarantee that's how like I mean you see people now like like I had someone on Instagram add me to their close friends and they were showing that they went to Mexico on vacation like over the last
Really?
couple months and I was like we are clearly not close friends
Yeah.
because this is the opposite of what I want to fucking see right now.
Hmm.
Like livid seeing that stuff.
Yeah.
And if people are doing that already and it's like lockdown 1.5, like you're saying,
Yeah.
3 is not an option for people that
No.
like the I need to see and be seen type crowd, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, that makes me so mad. Anyone that goes to Mexico, it makes me so mad that that Rod Phillips guy still has a job. Like I don't 100% know how it works for members of parliament like that, but he had to resign from being the finance minister, but he's still part of the provincial legislature there.
It's like the Leonardo DiCaprio meme of him like pointing at the TV every time I see Rod Phillips on the screen. I'm like, that's the fucking guy that did that thing.
Yeah, why is he still a representative for people? Why haven't because they've kicked other people out. But I feel like because he was the finance minister, he just had to resign from that, but he got to keep his other job.
Yeah, that's so weird though. Like imagine I was talking to my girlfriend about the Ted Cruz thing that came out yesterday. Did you see that?
Yeah,
Wait,
madness.
and his excuse was my daughters wanted to go on vacation, so I had to
Everyone
take
wants
them.
to go on vacation, you piece of shit.
But imagine I didn't show up for work at Indy 88. Didn't tell
Hmm.
anyone, just didn't show up. And then our boss texted me and said, "Where were you?" And I said, "Sorry, my dad wanted to hang out."
It's ridiculous.
Like,
That
what a
guy's such a
crazy
dipshit, though.
fucking. I mean, fuck Ted
Yeah.
Cruz. He's a piece of actual garbage. He's a fucking milk bag. But, like, it's usually when you're making up an excuse, you try to make it good.
Hmm. At least if you're going to Cancun, you should have a couple good excuses in the back of your pocket. You should think of a good excuse, and then when someone comes back with a reply on why that's not a good excuse, you should have another layer to it. Like you should have a web of lies going.
This is literally how that thing on my show on Tuesdays, Elaborate Lies, is born. It's that
Yeah.
I've thought about what you were going to say when I do lie to you
Yeah.
to follow it up with more lies that get me out of it all.
Hmm.
It's crazy.
Yeah. I'd like to go to Mexico, though. I'll tell you that right now.
Oh, cerveza in hand. You
Yeah.
got you see the same fucking 9 couples every day at the buffet breakfast. They all got their Bubba kegs of piss warm beer that they've been drinking all day, peeing in the
That
swim up bar.
that is one of the most you can tell this person's from a small town thing. If I understand that you keep it in the mug because it's a frozen drink, but going to like a bush party when you're 18 and there's someone drinking out of a coffee cup,
Yeah, but
it's
it's
always
the people that have they brought
the
their
Bubba
own
mug.
Bubba mug to an
Yeah,
all-inclusive resort. Like
yeah,
they're ready to go fucking hard.
yeah, yeah. I don't think I'll ever be that type of person.
I had so me and my dad went on vacation to Mexico, or not Mexico, Jamaica a couple years ago. And this couple from Oshawa was just like trying to get me to do cocaine with them at every opportunity. They were like 55, like, do you want a line? Do you want a line? I was like, get the fuck away from me. This is supposed to be like a relaxing golf vacation with my dad. Then they would
Yeah.
just be like, hey, that's the Ontario. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They fucking would not leave us alone. And both
Yeah,
of them, Bubba keg in hand.
yeah, it's that type of person. Yeah, I went to one in Mexico and there were people on the beach trying to sell you cocaine. I'm like, I don't think that cocaine's going to be very good. I don't want any of it.
Pure gas up your
Yeah,
nostrils.
yeah.
That's like I'm on I mean, everyone has a different expectation of what their vacation is going to be like. But if I'm at an all-inclusive resort, especially with my family, I'm not looking to get pissed up on Coke.
No,
I'm
no.
looking to sit my ass in a chair and
Yeah,
drink till I can't see by the water.
yeah. I don't need none of that. Especially,
It's,
yeah.
um, okay, so I'm allowed to tell this story. We're shifting gears here. Uh, I'm allowed to tell this story, says my girlfriend. So anyone who's about to say, did she want to eat it? saying, yeah, I got the approval. Um, the other day, she's transferred her baking business into the back of a coffee shop. Like she's working out of
I
there.
saw that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Shout out White Squirrel Coffee. They rule. Get your breadhead there. So I guess she was like taking shit out of her bag, and her Diva cup fell out of her bag. It's not like it's clean, but it fell
Yeah.
out of her bag and she didn't know. So she doesn't see it. She has no idea. She's working away. She goes out to give somebody their order. She comes back in. The owner of the coffee shop, not her boss, just like the guy that she's paying rent to work out of there, good guy, has it in his hand and is like, Lucy, is this yours? I found it on the ground, not knowing what he's holding.
The funny thing is, you could, as a guy, you could definitely not know what one of those are because it just looks like a funnel almost, right?
Yes, yeah. And he's got it in his fucking hand.
That's
And it was
disgusting.
clean, but it wasn't boiled clean.
No.
Like it had
If
been,
it's been used, it's never going to be clean enough again that you want a stranger to be touching it, or
ever.
vice versa.
Yeah. So he's got it in his hand, and she's like, "Dear God." She's like, yeah, that's mine," and like grabs it. And then he's like, "What is it?" And she just said, like, "You don't want to know."
Yeah.
And then he
Did
just like put it, he like looked at his hands and like went to the bathroom and like washed his hands.
he knew he knew as soon as she wouldn't tell him what it was that it was something bad.
Oh, this has been inside of you.
Yeah.
And then
Yikes.
so she texts me and she's like, I can't believe this has happened. I'm so embarrassed. But her friend had a really good point. Like, would you be embarrassed if a tampon fell out of your bag? She's like,
Is it a used tampon though? That's the
that's
difference.
that's the thing. You wouldn't be if it was a tampon, right? But if like the
No.
tampon had been opened and it looked used, then I'm sure. I mean, this didn't look used. It's
If
just
a
a
if a
see-through cup.
for that analogy to work, it would have to be a Diva cup that's in the package. So if a Diva cup that is like in a vacuum seal package that has not been used before fell out and someone found it, it's not that bad. But if it's a
Yes,
loose Diva cup, then
it's
things,
way different.
oh,
So
yeah,
I'm like, it's okay. Like I know that sucks. You're fucking mortified. Um, but also this guy is like 45 years old. He
yeah.
understands that women get their periods. Did he want to be that close to something, a feminine hygiene product? Probably not. But like it's not the end of the world. However, it is one of the greatest fucking stories I've ever
Yeah.
heard.
It ain't a good situation. If it's like if it's my girlfriend's Diva cup, fine. If it's a stranger's Diva cup, gross.
Yeah.
Grosser.
Have you ever had something like that happen to you at work? Like something that like level of
No.
embarrassment happened to you at work before?
No.
Because I have.
Yeah, what happened?
I don't know if I've actually ever told you this. I think I've only told like three people this in my life. So when I was working for Indie 88 in the digital department, like before I was even on air, I was just like web nerd. I
Hmm.
used to I would bring my laptop in and that's what I would work on every day. And I also use this laptop for cranking down, watching porn. And I guess one day I just shut my laptop and then closed the video before like before just shutting it before going to work. So
You were playing fast and loose if that is your shutdown method after you finish.
have okay, you watch porn, right? When you're
Yeah.
done, you're done. I'm disgusted with myself. I don't want to
Yeah.
see this anymore. I hate what I'm watching. A second ago I loved it, but now I hate it. I don't want to see
I
it.
I close everything. If it's super weird, I'll delete the history and I'll sign out of any account that I've been into. Like I go through that. I'm not just shutting my computer or closing something.
I'm playing pretty
I'm
willy-nilly.
making sure there's like three steps before someone can see what I was just on.
You're an adult, and I am just ashamed of myself.
Yeah.
So I close my laptop not knowing that when I inevitably open it at work, that video will be playing and playing loudly. So I open my laptop at work. That's exactly what's happening. At like I got people behind me. I got people across from me. Thank fucking God they have their headphones in.
Where
My computer.
was this back when it was upstairs and everyone like sat in a bullpen?
Yes. Yes. It couldn't have been more of like a cubicle office situation. Like
So
I'm
you're
sitting across from two people with the head of digital beside me, desks
and
touching.
the GM of the entire company 10 feet away and the
Yeah.
PD 20 feet away.
Yes. Everybody that I'm interning right now, everybody that I've worked so fucking hard to impress, working for free, I'm like, cool. This is
Who
how
uh
I'm known.
who is there?
Who was sitting there?
Who heard? Did anyone hear?
So this is what happened. The laptop opens, porn blaring. I don't know what to do. So I'm trying to like put the
Yeah.
volume down at least so I can shut my computer and bail. My computer is so old and is dying that I shut my laptop after putting all
And
the volume
it's
down.
still
It's still going with the laptop shut. I don't know what
that's
to
the
do.
worst.
It's fight or flight. I put it in my arm and run out of the building.
Well, it's still playing noises.
So
Good
I'm going down
Lord.
the stairs and it's going clap, clap, clap the whole fucking time. I book it. I'm now in the Tim Hortons parking lot trying to shut porn down on my laptop.
So did anyone call you out on it or actually see it?
I have no
Hear it?
idea if anyone heard it. I would assume that the two people I was very close with in the digital department would have said, "What the fuck just happened?" Like we were close enough for someone to call me out on that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but the people behind me, I wasn't close with, and they had the best actual view. So
We
I'm not sure if the quiet little music director we used to have saw all this and heard all this and
we
never said anything.
we should have reached out to her and got her on the podcast.
Holy shit. Like
Or got it, it would have been Jamie, Dave Kennedy, and I guess Jen sitting there. We should have got one of them to see if they actually heard that.
I oh, like that's the thing. Like I didn't even ask them because I was so embarrassed. Like now I'd be like, "Hey guys, like this happened." I think it's so funny. But in that moment, running down the stairs, ba 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 ba, ba, with fucking porn blaring out of my laptop as I'm interning trying to get a good reputation at the station, I've never felt that way before.
That's the type of situation where it's worse if you don't address it. Like you could have even lied and said, "Oh, one of my friends sent me one of those emails where it's a funny video where it's like, hey, check this out,' and then it's porn noises playing." That would have been my first thought to do.
My
Or I
buddy
would have just said, "Oh, there you go." Was it something weird or was it just normal moaning
just
and clapping?
just your
Was it
classic guy on
like
girl MILF stuff, I think.
it wasn't like a stepson type situation?
I mean, even if it was, I'm sure that the commentary wasn't like, "Don't bang me so hard, stepson."
Yeah, that's horrifying.
It's
Yeah.
funny that you say like your brain immediately was like, "Oh, here's how I could lie to get out of it." I was just like, "I
Yeah.
need to leave," because I have one friend that if porn is ever on my phone, like if I've ever had like a girl or a friend like use my phone to check something, she goes in my browser and I haven't cleared it. I'm always
Hmm.
like, "Oh man, my friend Eric sent me that. He's gross." It's Eric every time. And my every girlfriend I've ever had thinks that my friend Eric is a fucking pervert that just only sends me porn videos.
I only ever use the incognito mode. I don't know why anyone does. Who needs history and whatnot? I'm just always on incognito for
Yeah,
everything.
I'm a steel trap. I can remember the video if I liked it enough. If I want to go
Yeah.
back to that, I don't need the history.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. Wow, that would have been funny to see that.
Yeah, I also like this is a story from 6 or 7 years ago now,
Hmm.
and I think about it monthly.
Yeah, it's horrifying.
And
Horrifying indeed.
I think my laptop died, and I didn't know if when I plugged it back in, it was gonna come back up again.
So you had to bring it back inside and you thought that it was going to come on again?
I didn't know. I think I went to like the dark prod studio that no one goes in that's soundproof and waited for it to charge. I'm pretty sure that's what I did. But the low moment that I had at as an intern. I
Yeah.
wasn't watching porn at work. I was watching porn before, and then it took it to work by accident.
Yeah. Happens to the best of us, I guess.
I
You were
guess.
gonna talk about your rejection as your new career as a voice actor, which I've
Oh,
had a lot of. So I actually want to hear this story.
yeah. So I have wanted to do. I essentially just want to make more money,
Yeah.
and we do this for a living. We read commercials as like part of our contract, but outside of it, you can make more money by doing it. And like the first step to this for people that don't know is essentially like you want to get an agent who's getting you auditions.
Yeah.
You have an agent.
Yeah.
You're a
Yeah.
professional voice actor.
I've been paid to do voice acting,
Fuck yeah.
but not very much.
Regardless,
And I've missed it. I've done a lot of it and booked very few things.
I mean, there's so fucking many people going up for this job.
Oh
My
yeah.
girlfriend's parents are actually voice actors who have like a business all about it. And they've been in the game forever and they're such fucking pros. And they're like, yeah, like I went up for SO and Subway last month. No, like nothing. So it's, like it happens to everybody. But I'm trying to get an agent and I emailed probably 30 people, like 30 different voice agencies. The only people that got back to me are like these agencies I've literally never heard of and are like also modeling and television agencies.
Really?
Yeah.
They're
But
like the rip-off agencies where they just want to get you in there because you got to spend $300 a month on them or something.
it's like it's not that like I feel like they're fine, and I might actually end up being a route that I end up taking. Um, but it's so funny. Like so yesterday, I bring this up because yesterday the agency that you're a part of emailed me back, and I was like, oh my God, we're gonna be fucking teammates. Like this is sick. And then I'm like, why would they email me back to say no? No one else has done that, but they emailed me back to say no.
You know what? That happened to me before because before I got a voice agent, I was trying to do this forever, but it takes a while. Like oftentimes your voice demo just isn't good enough, or you don't have enough experience doing it, or whatever. You do have enough experience doing it, definitely, but this was probably 5 years ago, and I sent my current voice agent a demo, and they got back to me like 6 months later and said their roster is full enough with men. Like they gave some excuse that was clearly an excuse that it's just not good enough.
How about I
And
read you
then
the excuse to see if it's the exact same? I got it right. Hold on. Hey, Brent. Thanks for getting in touch. We are more or less standing pat with the roster at the moment. Also, you're in the ballpark of a couple voices we already have in the roster. Not that you're not an original voice yourself, of course, smiley wink face. But I do appreciate the listen and we wish you the best. I do think it's nice that he got back to me, but I was just like, as soon as I saw it, based on the lack of replies, I was like, here we go. I'm hitting the big time.
yeah. Well, that is a good point. They don't want to oversaturate certain voices, and it's been working since. But I was expecting it to be a lot more of a cash cow than it is. But you do a shit ton of auditions, and you only book a few things.
Your voice
So
is
it's
crazy
not
right
like
now.
it's not like the if you get a voice agent, you're is it
Yeah.
is it any better?
No, you're a complete robot and you're an absolute fuzz to look at too.
Shit. Should we wait this out or should we can edit it out. I can edit it out later.
Okay, talk.
Check, check, check.
Talk, keep talking.
Talking.
All right, yeah, you're
Check one,
back.
two,
Your
three, one.
picture's better
I'm
too.
back.
Yeah. That was crazy.
Yeah, I was just saying that I did send them that original, got rejected, and then I waited another year and actually got on the roster. So sometimes it just takes some time. But it's yeah, you just keep sending it to people. This is our business. Like even with radio, how many job applications have you sent out in your life? I probably sent out 200 and got back 5.
I haven't applied. I could probably count on two hands the amount of jobs I've applied for.
Really?
Yeah,
Good Lord.
I
You're
know.
you're a little bit different than me because I remember when I was in I worked in St. Paul for a year and a half, and I worked in Bonnyville for a year and a half, and I remember every day. I knew what time they were posting them on the radio job board, and I would like wait for it to update and be like, "Oh, here's a job I can apply for."
You hustled fucking hard, man. Like I was lucky enough to start working at the company that owns Indy 88 before Indy 88 was a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I literally just kept saying to my roommates that I lived with, like, we're gonna get the license. It was us and 29 other companies, I think, going up for the same license. And the odds of us getting it were like not good. But
Yeah.
I just kept saying, like, we're gonna get it, and then I'm gonna be on the farm teams, and then I'm gonna get called up for the bigs, and then I'm good. Like, I'm good, man. And it's fucked that that's what happened.
Yeah. Well, that's just a different type of hustle too, because this industry it's, I would say it's like it's hard work, but it's luck a lot of the time too. And it's your relationships and who you know. And for
Yeah.
me, I worked my dick off for working in small towns for a few years, but then it was also really lucky that I actually got my job. And I owe Adam Thompson a lot because he's the guy that actually hired me. And it was a psychotic move on his part to hire someone to work in such in like a major market from Bonnyville, Alberta, population 5,000, 6,000 people.
Well, I heard your demo, and I remember hearing your demo back when I was like 23, and I was like, how, like, they told me like I was too young to work here, like I was, and then I like saw that you were there, and I was mad. Like I hadn't heard what
Yeah,
you sounded like, but I was mad just based on the fact that we're similar in age, not realizing you had 3 more years of radio experience than I did,
yeah.
and I sucked ass at the time too. Holy fuck. But I heard your demo, and I was like, fuck, it's really good.
That demo was not good though.
No, it
When I go
was
back and
like
when I go back and listen, well, that's another thing about radio. When you go back and listen to yourself, even even if I listened to myself from 2 years ago, I'm like I sound ridiculous. Like you're always getting better and you're always improving. But I don't know if it was particularly good.
it was
I don't
funny, it was creative, it was unique. It was like a bunch of things, especially our old program director Adam Thompson, like really, really admired about people in radio, not doing the same tired shit all the time, having a unique spin on things.
yeah.
Um, yeah, and just
And you know
and
what's
also potential. Like he gets you in as a small market host. He can give you not a ton of money at first. You
hmm
are excited about the opportunity, and then he can fucking he knows he's also a guy that just wanted to work with you, right? Like he saw potential and was like, I can make this kid into something great.
Yeah. And you know what's funny about that demo? I wouldn't even know where to find it. Like I wouldn't be able to go back and find the demo that I sent to Adam at Indy 88 because it was like a full-time job back in those days. I would finish my job at work and then I'd spend the rest of my day updating my demo and redoing cover letters and making my resume nice and then sending it out to people. I probably had a new demo every single week. Like I probably had, if I go back in my files and find all my flash drives and shit, I probably had like 50 different demos in
That's
a year.
crazy.
Yeah,
I remember a station in Lloyd Minister wanted to hire me on for afternoon drive.
really.
Yeah, and
I would have, and when I was there, I would have died for that job too. Like those
I
are the
was
jobs I was applying for.
I was so, and I was like gonna do it. I was really gonna do it, but I was like, I can't in good conscience bail yet because I need to know if we're gonna get this license. I need to just at least know. I was like, maybe I approach them after, which is the job's probably not gonna be there anymore. But like, I need to know that we didn't get this license before I move on, and I'm so glad that I didn't.
What what station was it?
I think the goat.
Oh, okay. Because the radio clusters like um Newcap was the station I was or the people who I was working for who owned the station and they had like a Alberta East cluster and they had a radio station in Lloydminster. That'd be funny if you were working there when I was working in Bonnyville and we knew each other like
Holy
that.
shit! Fuck.
But it wasn't the goat. It was I think it was a country station actually.
We should put parts of our old demos into the podcast.
They're so
And
bad.
I my girlfriend's like, show me. I was like, no.
Yeah.
It makes me sweaty thinking about it. How
Yeah.
bad it is. And like the fact that I remember like giving it to our old boss, Adam Thompson, being like, there you go.
You know what's funny? When I came out of college, I thought I was so good too because or not so good, but I thought I was like, for people coming out of college, I thought that I would easily get a job compared to other people because I remember my final year of college, we had the Star Awards where
Yeah.
you would win awards for like best on-air personality in the third semester or whatever. And I won a bunch of them, and I'd never had an ego or anything. I never thought I was like so amazing, but I thought it'll be easy to get a job because I I feel like I am good enough to get a job
Hmm.
compared to maybe other people who are in that that part of their career. And when I started applying for jobs, boy, was I wrong
Oh
because
man.
I would apply to so many and not even hear anything back. Like so I like I was saying, I applied to so many, didn't hear anything back, and even the ones that I did hear back, I would get an interview to work in like Lethbridge or Fort McMurray or Kingston,
Fort
and I
Mac.
wouldn't get the goddamn job. Yeah, I would get all nervous and I'd flub the interview and I just wouldn't get the job. And it was yeah, it was honestly a frustrating few years, not in a sense that I felt like I was owed any jobs, but I was like, I don't know how much longer I can live in small town Alberta because it's hard at that point in your life too because you're 20. I would have been 21, 22, 20, and you're watching your friends all have fun, and even your friends are at university doing fun things at university, and you're in a small town. You have no friends. You don't know anyone because even when you go to a small town, it's not like you're going to walk out your door and meet friends. Like it's hard to actually meet friends. And I kind of figured it out towards the end of living there that you have to do things if you want to meet people. And I would join baseball teams and I'd do whatever within the community. But I didn't even know that at the start. So it's very lonely and it's a tough one. So I don't know. I don't think you can do that as easy anymore because just how small the radio industry is getting. But I feel I have a lot of respect for anyone that actually goes and does that small town tour.
For
Like we had
sure.
someone who worked on our street team, or Heather Williams, who went and worked in Fort McMurray, and now she's in Ottawa, and that's like I got a lot of respect for anyone that does that.
Yeah, like the people that pay their dues, for sure. Like I busted my ass in a much different way. Like I never had to go to buttfuck nowhere in order to do radio, but I was working 7 days a week and double shifting 3 of those days.
Yeah.
Like and five of those or 4 of those days, no, five of them are were I was working for free. I would work Monday to Friday as a digital intern for the station that was owned by the company that I was employed at. I would leave at 3 p.m. on Fridays to drive to Barrie in rush hour traffic to do
Hmm.
7 to midnight, and then drive back to Toronto. And then I did Saturday, Sunday in Barrie as well. And then every day. And that's when I realized I had to live on my own because I was resenting my roommate for having fun.
Yeah.
Like he would come home drunk and I'd be mad that I couldn't be. Or like he would come home like late at night and it wasn't that I was mad about the noise. It was I was mad that I couldn't have that lifestyle.
But that's what you have to do. And even when I started at Indy 88, I was doing a evening/weekend shift. And I was also coming in on one of my days off to voice track two shifts for the other evening. So like it I think it's like that with any industry though, or with any job. You kind of got to work really hard and then you get to a point where you aren't working as hard. Um, but maybe you just fill up your time with different things. Like
Yeah.
I still feel like I'm still working just as hard, but maybe I'm doing voice stuff. Maybe like for the morning show, you're doing a ton of stuff for the morning show, even though you're only on air for 3 hours. But yeah, it, you have to have like a really hard work ethic if you want to be successful in this line.
Yeah, I mean, you do have to be like prepared for rejection and when you are going to those small towns, when you're making friends, the things that you would usually have on your I in order to be my friend checklist really needs to shrink if you're going to connect with
Yeah.
people, because they might not be the same age as you. They might not have the exact same interests as you, but like you need to connect with somebody in those situations.
Well, I even felt like an alien in some of those small towns because I did grow up in a small town until I was 14, but then I moved to Edmonton, and in that those years we would like I was playing in bands, I was a skateboarder, I wore tight pants, I had long hair, and then I go to these small towns and they're all small towners with like cowboy guys with trucks, and it's like I do not fit in with any of these
Yeah.
people. So that was a difficult way of making friends as well.
Yeah, the first radio on air gig that I got out of school, the only connection that I made the entire time with school was Dave Carr, who's the vice president of everything
Yeah.
at Central Ontario Broadcasting, which owns Indy 88. He was like, "Oh yeah, maybe if something comes up at these two stations in the summer, well, like maybe you'll get it." And I was like, "LOL, yeah, sure." And then something did came up, and I did get it, which is fucked. But I was on Cool FM. God love Cool FM. Bless him with everything. I do not relate to that station even a little bit. It's primarily female focused. It's small town women who have a couple of kids, and the age demographic is probably 35 to like 45 is like your bread.
Hmm.
Not my lifestyle, especially when I'm working there at age 22.
Yeah.
So I just remember being like, I remember Dave saying, "We see you as more of a top 40 guy than a rock jock." And I was like, "How fucking dare you?" Like, I was
Yeah.
so mad because I was like, "How do you think I relate to that? Look at me. How do you think I relate to that crowd more than like talking to people about rock
Music.
music?"
Yeah. Well, my first radio job was at an AM country station, but I was just happy to have a job
Yeah.
in a
I mean,
farming
same
town, a
here. I was
5,000
floored.
person small farming town. And I didn't know a thing about country. I remember the first time I went to work there, I had to voice track a shift because they were just getting you ready. So I was voice tracking, and I thought it would be easy to work in country music, but my dad had a rule when we were kids that we weren't allowed to listen to country music because he hated it that much. So the only place you listen to music is in the car with your dad. Like I had a Walkman, but you listen to all his tapes, all his CDs. And obviously, when we're driving anywhere, we're not allowed to listen to country music at all. And I thought it would be easy to just go and work at a country station. But I remember I had to turn to the music director who was working in the other room, and I had to ask her how to pronounce every single name because you don't know how to say Aaron Pritchett. You're like, is it Pritchett? Is it Pritchett? Or um, Gord Bamford? Like, it's weird. You can't mispronounce a country artist's name when you're working in country radio. You can't mispronounce anyone's name. Like, could you imagine if you mispronounced anything that we say on Indie 88? You get a
Oh,
million texts of people correcting you.
I remember when Tove Lo came out. Before she was Tove Lo, she wanted to go by Tuve Lu.
Yeah.
And I was like on the phone before introducing this song with our old program director, Adam, being like, "Which one is it? Which one is it? Like, I
Yeah.
just started here. I need to get this right. Some like indie fucking nerd is going to come down on me with the wrath of a
Yeah.
thousand people with keyboards if I don't get this right." I also remember, when I was told that I wasn't a rock jock, I was like, okay, now I'm going to do everything I can to prove to you that I am that. And I started getting shifts on Rock 95, which was like the dream. I listened to that station my entire life growing up. So I was like, this is fucking crazy. My parents listened to it, all their friends, they couldn't believe that I was
Yeah.
working there. But like I know April Wine, Oh What a Night. When Oh What a Night is written as one word, Oh What a Night,
Yeah.
and it's spelt weird. I remember being like, fuck.
Yeah, what do I say?
I
That's when
think
you
I just
just
went like
you
April
back sell
Wine
it
with
with
one of their hits
yeah, exactly. Got to get creative with it.
or lack thereof.
Yeah. Yeah. But I'm glad that everything has worked out luckily. And
Yeah.
yeah, for a lot of people, I had moments where I was living there for 3.5 years, like in small towns. I was like, I don't know how much longer I can do this. So luckily I finally did get a job.
Oh, there's been many, many times I have had a hard look in the mirror with myself and been like, why are you in this industry? What about
Yeah,
this
how
like
much longer
appeals to you?
can you
And
do
then
it?
you have a good show the next day and you're like, I fucking love my job and I can't imagine not
Yeah,
doing it.
yeah. Yeah, and we've been doing it for so long that it's been part of my entire adult life. So if I were to get let go tomorrow and I were to not be doing, if I were to decide not to do radio anymore, it would be such a weird, because it's part of your identity at the end
Yeah,
of the day.
it's anyone who sees me calls me Radio Brent.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
can't go back to being just Brent.
yeah,
It's like a fucking drug though, man. When people like your shit, it feels good.
yeah.
When people don't
Online,
like shit, it hurts.
it hurts so much worse.
The low for someone not liking your shit is so much more painful than like the joy you get out of someone saying it's good.
I don't even feel joy when someone tells me it's good. I always feel like they're just saying it.
Same. I'm like, you're lying, but I
Yeah,
appreciate
you
it.
didn't even like, okay, nice, thank you. Thank you very much.
I
So,
know.
yeah, that's like whenever you're, even when someone you're working with was like, "Oh, I really like that this morning." It's like, this is just an icebreaker. You didn't actually like it or anything. I'm just like, "Okay, thanks."
That is so funny because it's exactly the way that I feel. If anybody at work that isn't the program director or like another host says that they like
Yeah.
something, I'm like, this is filler conversation because you don't know how to talk to me.
Yeah,
Which
exactly.
sucks because they could just be genuine and actually like what you do. But yeah, that's
Hmm.
the same way I take it too.
Yeah.
I've done
But this
so
week,
many fucking student interviews
do
for
you?
kids. Yeah, if anyone's listening and you need one, you need to interview somebody in the industry. I offer up as much as my time as humanly possible to do this. I think I did 15 in the last like year. So
Wow.
so
Good job.
hit me up. Just DM me at radio_Brent at Radio Brent on Instagram, and I will do my damnedest.
Yeah. Well, that's how you got to be in this industry. You got to be like, and not, it goes beyond interviews. If you ever want to make a contact or if you want help with your demo or want an opinion on your demo, you can reach out to people like us because we are open to doing that at all times. It's funny how when you're in radio school, you're afraid to reach out to these people, but it's almost like when you do get a student or something reaching out, it feels good because it's like, oh, people actually know that I'm working in this industry. So I always say that that radio hosts are such narcissistic, ego-driven people. So if you are a radio student listening and you're afraid to reach out to someone who's in this industry, they will love it. So just do
It's
it.
it's true. I mean, like I do it from a place of like I just remember I'm really neurotic. I'm an overthinker. I have a ton of anxiety, and if I reach out to somebody that I admire, I'm very nervous that the interaction doesn't go that way that I want it to. Then I have ruined my relationship with that person, or like I don't want
Yeah,
that person to think badly of me or whatever. And I just remember like feeling all of that anxiety before like sending like Fearless Fred an email back in the day.
yeah,
And he couldn't have been fucking nicer to me. Like I love Fred, we're boys now.
yeah.
But I
And
want to be the same for other
yeah.
people. Like I don't want people to feel any sort of weirdness before shooting me a message. If it's a radio question, like feel free. It does not bother me at all.
And everyone in this industry is really nice, and if they're not, then they're jackasses, and you don't want to be friends with them anyway. So if you
Yeah,
are a radio kid listening, like there's no reason not to reach out to someone. And if someone
totally.
gives you a hard time, then they're not going to be around for long anyway, because this
Yeah,
industry is all about relationships. And everyone that I know that's a host is a really, well, for the most part, is a really good guy. So there's no reason to feel weird about it.
and one day, all of you kids are going to be much more successful than us, and we want
And
to
they'll
use you as
take
a
your job.
reference.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, morning radio, Brent, is coming up this week on Indie 88, so make sure to check them out.
Oh, you just went robotic again.
Did you? Damn it.
Oh, that's
Well,
okay. We're back.
is it working? Is it? I was
Yeah.
just gonna say, morning radio, Brent is on air 6 to 9 a.m. Indie 88 this week. Make sure to check him out. And thank you so much for listening to this podcast. And thanks for everyone who subscribed on YouTube. We have like more subscribers than I thought we ever would at 40. So if you're watching
Yeah,
this right now, make sure to subscribe.
it shows the power of us combined because my personal YouTube channel does not have many subscribers, but the Brent Carlin channel has got a lot more.
As if 40 is a lot. All right. Well, thank you to everyone, and thanks for watching episode 4. We'll have number 5 next week.
See you then.